Hey guys, Andrew here with Nashville Severe Weather. We got a severe thunderstorm warning that just kind of popped out of the air here. This is for a storm south of Franklin, and this is a severe thunderstorm warning for those of you in southern central Williamson County. So this is from basically Franklin down to the south, includes Thompson Station, Bethesda, and areas like that. So this is a severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect until 6:30. 6:30 this evening, so about another 30 minutes here. And this is a severe thunderstorm located over Thompson Station or near Franklin, moving southeast at 15 miles per hour. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts are possible with this storm. We've seen some of these storms today that have popped up and then have created a little bit of... a little bit of wind damage, and so we want to be wary of that, make sure that folks are well warned out ahead of that. And so radars are at a kind of a tough angle for this storm, so we're not seeing 60-mile-per-hour winds indicated on radar, but we've seen today where there was a little bit of wind damage even without some of the radar returns that were showing 60-mile-per-hour winds, okay? So here we're looking at TBNA, and this is actually looking down to the south. There's south of Franklin, and you can see 60-mile-per-hour winds would show up blue or yellow, and we're not seeing that, but we're at a bad angle to the radar, so that could entirely be happening. In fact, the National Weather Service is saying they were seeing some indications in the top of the storm that showed the potential of a severe wind gust there that could make it down to the ground. So wind is the biggest player, they're saying, as the bottom could fall out of the storm shortly. And if that happens, then it certainly would create some wind damage. So checking another radar here. This is the Weather Service radar. Again, not seeing any 60-mile-per-hour winds being indicated on radar, but that doesn't mean that that's not possible, because they were seeing that happen up in the top of the storm, and that could easily make its way down to the ground level. All right, so let's go over and look at, or I'm going to go check out what the Weather Service is saying. I'm also going to look at your reports. If you have reports to send in, be sure to go ahead and send those to us and use hashtag TSpotter and in your tweet. So let us know what you're seeing out there. If you see severe wind damage, so if you see severe winds, if you see hail, anything like that, be sure to tweet using hashtag TSpotter, and we will get that information right over to the Weather Service. So again, severe thunderstorm warning if you're just joining us. This is for a severe storm just south of Franklin. So this is right near the Williamson County Fairgrounds and back to the west, the Berry Farms area, and Columbia Pike, Lewisburg Pike, down south of Franklin. And you see it right here on the radar. So Franklin is right here. Here's your yellow polygon. Let me get rid of the white one, and that's a significant weather advisory that came out first. We're going to get rid of that because the severe thunderstorm warning supersedes that. So here is your yellow polygon, and that covers from downtown Franklin, Leapers Fork, down to the southeast, all the way down to Thompson Station, Spring Hill, over to Bethesda, College Grove, Arno, Paytonsville, Rutterville, Page High School, Ladd Park, those subdivisions up there south of Franklin. So a lot of heavy rain right now. It's been a very noisy storm. It's been loud. So everywhere from Polk Place, Sullivan Farms, Forest Crossing, all the way down over to Jim Warren Park and down toward Keystone and Henpeck Lane, all the way down to 840 and 65. Been real loud here for a little while as the lightning has been kicking up. Let's put this in motion here, and while we're doing that, let's talk about what to do. So if you are in southern Williamson County and it's not raining and you're not inside yet, or maybe your family's outside, or maybe some people you know are outside and it's not raining yet, they need to get inside. It's a pretty hefty storm. Some of these storms have gone up and come down pretty quickly, and so hopefully it'll dissolve at least enough to where it's not severe, but still give some water to the gardens. But we need the threat of severe weather to pass. Let's see. So Weather Service is saying is about 2 minutes ago, they're starting to see what's called a little bit of divergence on the radar at the lower levels. which could mean a microburst developing there at the ground level. Yeah, we see that right here. So here's the Ag Center, the fairgrounds. Here's 65 and 840. Indy High School, Independence High School is right there, Keystone, Henpeck Lane, and right in there you see the kind of the greens and the reds separating, and that could mean a microburst hitting the ground right in this area. All right, so that's right around Lewisburg Pike. That's 431 there, and this is the Goose Creek bypass that goes. There's Berry Farms there, west of I-65 that cuts over to Columbia Pike. So there's the Goose Creek bypass right in there. Is where we could see a microburst developing and hitting the ground, and that could produce some, it could blow some trees over and that kind of thing. That's Macklemore Road there, and let's see, Tom Anderson Road, just kind of a couple of the streets and the roads there where that could be developing. Let's jump over to TBNA and see if we're seeing the same thing, and yeah, seeing the exact same thing actually. And it looks like, right there in the same area. Could have been a little microburst there. Weather Service is noting that this radar we're looking at here is also showing that. Look like we have a couple of power outages as well there in South Franklin. So could be lightning, could be wind, but it looks like the lights are out down there, at least in some areas of South Franklin. All right, we're kind of sticking with radar here. There's really not a lot else to look at right now, but it looks like most of the lightning, at least the most current lightning, is over there east of I-65. So maybe this part of the storm in the middle is collapsing, and this could be strengthening a little bit over here on the east side of 65. But nonetheless, all of that is within the severe thunderstorm polygon, which stretches again from Franklin all the way down into Marshall County and Murray County. But at least from our Williamson County perspective, it covers all of the south side of Williamson County. And I'm going to go up in the storm here and look and see where other areas of the storm are developing. And it looks like to me down here on the south side of the storm, around Thompson Station and maybe just north of Spring Hill, we could have additional areas of this storm starting to develop. So if I go up in the storm here, you can kind of see this is about 17,000 feet up, kind of around Bridgemore Village, Thompson Station. So right over, let's see, that's going to be Thompson Station Road East. That's going to be Clayton Arnold Road there. Right above there, about 17,000 feet up, a lot of water right above there. And so it looks like the storm is going to be expanding down into Thompson Station a little bit more. So again, all of this under a severe thunderstorm warning, this entire cell, and this is in effect until 6:30, and we're going to see how long the Weather Service keeps this warning going. And right now we're coming up on, I've got 6:07 right now, and so we got about another 20 minutes on this warning if they let it go that long. We'll just have to see how long they let it go. So still seeing some indication of a microburst, not as strong as it was just a little bit ago, but we could have some winds that are kind of fanning out from the middle here, right around the 65-840 junction right there, south of Franklin, is where we see the possible microburst there. And never saw anything 60 mile per hour being indicated on radar. However, we've seen today that doesn't mean a whole lot. We had a little bit of wind damage up in northeastern Davidson County earlier today when the radar was indicating winds at about 40 miles per hour. And there was an outbuilding and a little bit of siding missing on a house, possibly indicating some stronger winds. So just what's indicated on the radar doesn't necessarily mean what's happening on the ground. So we take it seriously whenever there's a warning out on it. I'm going to check a couple of things here and see where we stand. Make sure I'm not missing anything off to the side here. And let's see. Yeah, we're doing all right. I think we're caught up. So again, if you're just joining us, I know you kind of jump in and jump out, and it looks like we do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect. It looks like they're keeping it going for a while. This is for south of Franklin, down to Thompson Station, over to Bethesda, and Cherry Grove, Buckner Road, Arno, Cross Keys. Nice community down here, Cross Keys. And Paytonsville, Page High School, Rutterville. And, another thing we've noticed today is we've noticed that the lightning of these storms, is being tossed out quite a bit of ways from the rain. So that's nothing to mess with. And it could not be raining where you are, but you might be near the storm, and it's not raining where you are, and lightning gets tossed out. So that can be pretty crazy. Hey, somebody asked over on Twitter, what's a microburst? Good question. All right, so a microburst is basically when cold air or air up in the storm. I'm going to put this in motion while I'm talking. So air up in the storm collapses. And when that air collapses down to the ground, it spreads out in all directions, and that wind can be quite strong. All right, it's kind of like dropping a water balloon, and that water hits the ground and spreads out instantly on the concrete. And that's kind of what happens in the air when a microburst happens. So a microburst falls out of the cloud, falls out of the storm. That cold, dense air hits the ground and spreads out across the landscape. So that's a microburst. So some of them are not strong. Some of them, 20, 30 mile per hour winds. Those are maybe typical this time of year. However, we do get storms like this one possibly could drop 50, 60, 65 mile per hour winds out of that storm. And in the immediate area where that microburst hits the ground, you could have tree damage. And we've seen that year after year in our two counties. Almost every year, it seems like we get a concentrated microburst that blows down a whole bunch of trees and power lines and that kind of thing. So that does happen, and that's what the Weather Service was watching for and trying to get ahead of. They were seeing signs of that possibly happening up in the storm, high above our heads, way up there. And they went ahead and issued this warning in case that made it down to the ground. There were signs that may happen. So that's what they were trying to get ahead of there on that storm here in southern Williamson County. Let's go up and look at Nashville. Nothing going on in Nashville right now. All quiet up there. Not much going on there. Had a bunch of rain and storms there earlier today. In fact, just a little bit ago, had a line of storms line up west of Nashville, and that's what kind of moved down toward Franklin here a little bit ago. And now we're left with this one cell down south of Franklin that's got the severe thunderstorm warning up for it. And that is until 6:30. So we're looking at another I was going to say it's about another 20 minutes, and it looks like they just canceled the severe thunderstorm warning. So that's going to disappear off our map here in just a second. And as soon as it does, we'll jump off of here and we will let you go back to whatever you were doing before. And there you go. So the warning is canceled. No warnings in effect for Williamson or Davidson counties, but a strong storm still in place down there in southern Williamson County. Here's the significant weather advisory. This is what was in place before the warning came out, and that is going to remain. So this is a significant weather advisory in effect for winds possibly reaching 40 miles per hour within the polygon here around the Williamson County Ag Center, Thompson Station, College Grove, Page High School areas there south of Franklin. So no severe warnings in effect. The storm has weakened, and the Weather Service notes that if it has done damage, we don't have indications of that yet, but if it has, it probably has already done that. And so it looks like the storm has weakened. All right, y'all have a great evening. We'll talk to you later.